we're taking a look at this landing gear. This is the lead leg, so the driver's side leg. We're having issues with it not wanting to raise or lower, but if you put pressure on it, grabbed the leg and pushed up into the camper, it would engage and start raising and lowering with the electric motor. Took it all apart, figured out the reason was this thin washer has sunken in. See how it's kind of concave now? No longer flat like this guy is. And what was happening is this washer, it's got these indentions in it. It has sunken in, and then this pin here is bent, and then the beveled washer is falling down into the landing gear. And then when that falls down, the pin starts slipping and no longer engages this lower beveled gear, which in turn does not connect to this beveled gear, which is the one at the top connected to the electric motor. And so what ends up happening is the electric motor spins, and then this passenger side landing gear works, but the lead leg on this side, the driver's side, does not raise and lower. What I was able to do here is get that thick washer in place, and then I stuck that metal dowel through, which holds the bevel gear. So I was able to get the dowel about halfway in, because as you saw before, it was bent. And then once I got it halfway in, I used this. This is the driving rod for the electric motor that connects to the other landing gear. Kind of used it as a punch. I placed it like so on the dowel and then hammered it to bend this metal dowel back flat. And once I got it relatively flat, I was able to slot it through. So we're gonna reassemble and see if the landing gear engages now with this new washer. This beveled gear is just resting on the washer. So all you need to do is line up the slots with the metal pin, and that's it right there. So it is on, and that already feels like it has way less play in it than it did before. It was very wobbly before. This really needs to be greased. I looked for some grease, couldn't find any at the house. So we're just going to go with what we have now. But next, just kind of rest this in there like so. And then this little, this looks like a brass collar goes on, which it's gonna want to pop out while I'm holding the camera. Okay, got it slotted on, because that kind of fits, in that little slot there. Then the next thing is, this is we'll call this the vertical beveled gear, and you see it also has a slot. And then this is its dowel right there. So that dowel goes through the rod right here. You see there, now we need to push the rod all the way to where it lines up, where this hole lines up with this slot. As you can see, we've got this all lined up. Just need to put that metal dowel through. The collar is situated here. Vertical gear is engaged with the horizontal gear. The last thing you need to do here is put this little circlip in. You can see the groove right there. Circlip has to go in right there, and that locks this rod into place. And there you have it. Little circlips back in place. It holds the rod snug, and this should not be able to come apart anymore with the dowel in and the circlip in place. To reinstall this lead landing leg, use these notches, and yours may look a little different, but there's going to be notches on the top and the bottom. See that notch there? And this in at an angle. And then what'll end up happening is that you get these slotted in. Oh, I almost just chopped my finger off. The notches will catch, and then you've got bolts right here. These bolts go across like so, and all they do is hold it in place so it can't pivot off of the welds, which actually are where the weight is distributed. And all I did was remove the leg. It's just these two bolts come off right here. Pretty straightforward. All right, I got these securing bolts together. Got this landing leg, lower assembly back on. And then I've put the electric motor back on. It's just a D-shaped collar. So this little piece here holds the electric motor in place. Then you've got a Phillips head screw that goes through here. And then this is a 7/16, I believe, on our camper bolt that holds a rod that goes all the way across to the other landing gear leg. Got everything connected back up, got our crossbar connected to both landing legs, got our positive and negative wired up, and let's just see what happens when we try to retract or extend the legs. So again, this side was messed up. Let's see what happens. It's lowering, it's a good sign. And it's raising. That's a good sign. It was not raising up before or lowering. It was just stuck. So that tiny washer, probably a 50-cent washer at the hardware store, has fixed the issue. Okay, that's gonna wrap this project up. So today we replaced a 50-cent washer on the landing gear. The horizontal beveled gear was very wobbly, and that was creating slack, causing the gears to not engage. You can buy a beveled gear replacement set. I think it's like 30 bucks or something. I'll put a link to it below. Or you can go ahead and replace the entire landing gear if you want to, because there are other areas of wear and tear on these landing gears. But this should help you in a pinch. Rather than waiting a few days to get a new landing gear or get new beveled gears, you can just make a trip to the hardware store, get a new washer, maybe two, stack them up, and put those under that horizontal bevel gear. That way it engages properly and your landing gear will work. I hope you found this video helpful. This was a lot of fun to work on. I'm glad that I've got this lead leg working again. This is just a temporary solution. I do need to grease it up, but I'm happy that it goes up and down. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you like this content, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.